Hey everyone, today I want to show you how we catch UI changes using Playwright visual regression testing. Many automation tests only check text, the visibility of a button or click a button, those kind of actions. But many times the test passes and still the UI looks wrong. The layout might have shifted, a button moved to a different place, or the background color changed. The user sees it in production and we see a bug reported. But the test doesn't know anything about this UI changes. It simply checks for the existence of a button, for example. So the test won't fail, but this is a gap visual testing solves. Playwright already has this feature built in. No extra tool, no complex setup. We take screenshots and Playwright compares them every time we run the test. Let me show a simple working demo. I have already created a Playwright test here, and you can see this test goes to this website, and then it takes the screenshot using the Playwright command, the expect page dot to have screenshot, and the name of the home page, the name of the image, which is a PNG format, and you give a name. So it's going to take the screenshot and store it in this file, and the next time you run, it's going to take a new screenshot and compare that new screenshot with the actual baseline screenshot. So you can see here, this is a demo website and it has only one line of text that's going to change on every refresh. So this is a good candidate for our demo. And when you run the test the first time, there is nothing to compare against. So it's going to take the first screenshot and store that as a baseline. And the second time you run, that is when it's going to compare the actual screenshot that is taken and with the expected screenshot image that it stored as a baseline. So let's see. So here we don't have anything screenshot or any images stored here. So the first time we run the test in the Chrome browser here, for example, it is going to open the site and you see a simple text, a random text, and you can see the test failed. And if you go to the test report here, you will see why the test failed, and it says a snapshot doesn't exist at this location, which is perfectly fine the first time. And you can see here the actual image and the page screenshot. It took a full screenshot of the page, and the expected is also the same. So this you don't need to worry about it the first time, and I will show you how this slider looks when I run the test the next time. So let's stop this test and run it again. So this time you see another random text here, and before we see the report, let me show you the baseline image that it stored. So you can see here the test stored the image every time we go to the page, and it has a baseline already stored the first time. So let's look at the report. So here is the new report, and you can see it failed obviously because the page loads a random image, random text every time. So it says verifying the given screenshot expectation, taking the page screenshot, disabled all the animations. So it's waiting for the fonts to load, and it says the whole page is about 961 pixels. So it takes a screenshot again and it does these things and then finally compares. So this is where the actual failure reason is. So you can see the text here, the difference it shows, and you can see the actual thing, actual text page. The page had be a good lover, that is a random advice there. The slip and the ID didn't change, the 174 in the expected also. So when we ran the test, you see the actual and the expected had a different text, and you can see them side by side also. And this nice cool thing is the slider, and if I zoom in a little bit, so you can see the slider, the center thing like vertical line, and if we move it, you can see the slip didn't change, the ID didn't change, the ID number changed. So you see the difference right there. And then if you move along, the advice didn't change. The position of the advice also changed. So A is shifted to the right a little bit, and then the actual advice, of course, changed. So you can clearly see easily how to by moving this slider. So that is the power of this simple feature that is already built in Playwright. Sometimes small differences are okay in your case. For example, an extra shift of the colon might be tolerable. So such small shift can make visual test flaky. So for example, some animations might be there. So if you want to skip those animations to make the screenshot more stable, you can disable those animations in your web page by saying something like for example, you can put it in your code, like when you say that have screenshot image, you can replace this and give some more options inside where you can say I want to disable all animations on this web page, and the tolerance. If the difference between the actual and the expected is very minute, like 50 pixels, then simply pass the test. For example, let's say you have this word, the text shifted by one space, there is an extra space, or yes, any small criteria like that. You can define the area, how much tolerance you can have your test. So that is another nice thing that Playwright offers here. And another important thing to remember is visual testing is environment sensitive. Screenshots can look slightly different on different machines, so it is better to create and compare the screenshots in the same environment, usually CI/CD like Circle CI or Jenkins. So remember this first. The first time you run the test, you don't see any screenshot here. So let me show you. I didn't show that part clearly. So let me run the test the first time. So it is going to create a baseline image, and we can see what it did. So if you go back here, you can see the new folder created where it says the test name -snapshots, and you can see the Chromium Darwin, that is the version of the Chromium, and release of the Chromium, or something like that. So it's saved in a PNG file, and you can zoom in and see the actual screenshot. So the next time you run the test, it's going to probably change the name. Let's see what it does. So now it has a baseline, and the new screenshot will be compared to this baseline. And if you come here, you will see the baseline is here, and it compared and it failed. So that is the thing I want to show you. And usually when you do this, you have to you can see that the main benefit of this is any unexpected UI change becomes visible immediately. So to wrap it up, remember this clearly. The first time you run the test, Playwright is going to create a baseline image, and the second time you run is where the actual comparison takes place. And the third time you run, it's again going to compare the baseline. So it's going to give you that comparison there, so you can catch any unexpected UI changes easily. So if this video helped you, please subscribe, and I will share more practical Playwright testing videos. So I will see you in the next video. Happy testing.